Code monitors is the tool developers can use to stay on top of future regressions, anti-patterns, or security vulnerabilities that are introduced to the code. Like every other feature we've covered, Code Monitors sits on top of search, which means creating a monitor is no different than creating a search query. So let's walk through the different ways of setting up a code monitor. I could, of course, start by creating a code monitor from the code monitor page and just doing that from scratch. Or best practice, in my personal preference, is to actually start your code monitor by creating a search query in search so I can monitor the results and be sure that my code monitor is ready to go. For example, let's say I'm a security engineer and I want to ensure that no secret keys or hard-coded passwords are ever leaked into production. I can do this by creating a search query that uses regex that will find either private keys or alphanumeric patterns that look like tokens. Since I want to catch this before code hits production, I'm also searching across diffs here. Okay, now that I've run this and I see that there are currently no results, which is what I want, I'm ready to create my code monitor. So I'm going to go to Actions and Create Monitor. As you can see, the query that we just created in our search results is now populated here under Trigger, which we'll get into in a second. But first, I need to name my monitor. Always give your code monitor name a short descriptive name that reflects exactly what it does and never include confidential information. Lastly, I'm going to set up notifications so I or my team will be alerted if a private key is ever introduced to new code. So when setting up notifications, you'll notice that I have a few options here. Keep in mind that for each notification option, you do have the ability to include search results in the alert. Always be mindful of who will be able to see these notifications and search results, as it could contain sensitive information or code. For example, if you're sending results to Slack, be sure that everybody who has access to the channel has permissions to see potentially sensitive code. You'll also notice that there's an option here to create a webhook event. This means you can create automated workflows. For example, instead of simply alerting the team via Slack, you can set up a webhook event that can pass the notification and search results to a webhook endpoint of your choosing. So this means you can build or create custom automations and even build integrations into your external systems. So a code monitor trigger can create a linear or a Jira ticket, for example. So once you select your preferred notification channel, and whether or not you want search results to be included in the sent message, I can go ahead and create this code monitor. Once I save the monitor, Sourcegraph will run this query continuously in the background and specifically listen for new diffs, and if a new search result is ever returned for this particular regex pattern, it will notify me. So in sum, there are three main aspects to every code monitor. There's the title. This is what the notification alert will appear as in either an email subject, a Slack message, or a webhook event. There's the trigger. This is the search query that will be running continuously in the background. A code monitor is only triggered if new search results are returned for any given query. And lastly, there's the action or the actual notification. This is the alerting method used to communicate that new search results have been found for your code monitor. So that's it. As you can see, code monitoring is an easy and scalable way to keep track of important changes in your code base and allows devs to proactively address possible future regressions, anti-patterns, or security vulnerabilities.